Today I'm going to be talking about something that there's really not a direct connection to food and what I've been sharing about my raw diet with you, but there is a connection. And everything that involves your health and your well-being, there's a connection. It's not just your body. There's also a connection to your spirit and to your soul. And in order to be able to be successful and reaching the desired physical appearance or health or healing, you have to connect into your spirit. You have to connect into that you can't see. I've done a video before about my meditation routine, and it changes because my kids go to school. My kids don't go to school. My kids are going to regular public school. Kids are being homeschooled. So your life changes, and you can't just hold on to what you did once. And because your life changes, I can't fit this in anymore because now my life is totally different than how it was when I began to meditate. No, you kind of just like you customize your whatever it is that's giving you peace and it's giving you happiness. You customize it. So for me, in this case, it's meditation. And there was a time where I was brought up in a very spiritual household. And so there came a point where I had to venture out and find it for myself. And when I stepped out of the values and the teachings that I was brought up in at my home, I kind of was out there in the sea of this whole spiritual world. And I opened myself up to everything and anything. I started reading books, Miracle Book, the Power Book, the book called Now, and I don't recall the name of the writer, but I was just experimenting with all these different kinds of spiritual things out there, knowing I knew I had the foundation, but yet I wanted to see things in an abstract, in a way that could accommodate what I was going through at that particular moment. And that particular moment, I was going through depression. And the funny thing is that I would go ahead and I would follow specific instructions and that these people would recommend, and I would feel the peace and I will feel, everything that they packaged in that little box to present to you, but it was just like really short-lived. And so the moment something would like trigger me, it's like I forgot all those different steps. And so this time I'm going back to my roots because, my roots worked. It worked, and so I'm sticking with it, and I'm teaching my kids it, and it's very controversial. The name of Jesus is so scandalous. I mean, you say God, and it's like, oh yes, but you say Jesus, and it's like, oh, it offends people. It's just like, oh no, it's religious. But I have to tell you that works for me, and so it's worked for me. It's doing wonders for me and my family. So hey, if it works, why are you gonna use it? So this is the way I meditate, and I've meditated for a couple of, I would say, months, and I kind of like used a little bit of what the mainstream New Age people use to meditate, but I applied it to the foundation. And so this is what I do, and I'm, if you want to go ahead and move things around, but this has worked for me, and it's worked for me outside of the meditation little period, me sitting down. It's worked after I meditate. It works when I'm in conflict with my children. It works when my children try to provoke me. It works when my husband and I don't see things eye to eye. It works for me when I'm outside and somebody cuts me off, or rude comments on my YouTube. It works. It works. And so I want to share this with you. So what I do first is, obviously, I prepare to see, if you were to see your friend, you wouldn't go and see your friend in your PJs or with eye styes in your eyes and, dirty breath. No, you would prepare yourself to meet your friend, right? Especially a friend that you really, really like. And this is what I enjoy, because I see my time with God as literally someone that I would, I can't wait to meet. I can't wait to tell him this and tell him that, what he thinks. And so I brush my teeth, I wash my face, and I prepare myself So I go downstairs and I sit. I have this little mat, and I sit in cross-leg position. And my first step, these are different steps that I take. The first step is physical relaxation. And I wrote these down so that I don't go all over the place. Physical relaxation. So what I do is I take deep breaths and I exhale. And I do this like around 3 to 4 times. And then I kind of just relax my body. I wiggle my toes, my hands. I circle my hips. And I tense my arms. I tense them up really good. And then I relax them, because when I tense them, this is how it feels to be tense. And then when I relax them, I know the difference. So when I'm sitting down and I'm starting to tense up, I know, okay, this is not relaxation. And I do the same thing for my legs. And then I squint my eyes really, really tight 3 times, and then I release them, because sometimes when you're like in a concentrated mode, you kind of like squint or you make this face. So I kind of like just relax my face, and I take another deep breaths in and out, wiggle my toes, roll my shoulders so I'm sure that I'm not hunched back, that I'm nice and straight. And so this helps me feel relaxed. And so that's step number 1. Step number 1 is physical relaxation. Step number 2 is mental stillness. And now this is the hard one because our mind always wants to be active. Our thoughts are always, you want to have thoughts. And hey, that's okay. That's how we're wired. But at this particular moment, when you're preparing yourself for your friend, in my case, it's God, I want to make sure that I have a full attention. Like when I go to meet you and one of my consultations or my friends, I want to make sure that you have my full attention. And then I don't have thoughts of, oh my gosh, what am I make for dinner? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. Blah, blah, blah. So what I do is I tell my thoughts. I command my thoughts. I tell them, be still. Let me be with God. I'm going to spend my time with God. Let me talk with God, and I'll think about you later. I'll handle you later. So every time a thought wants to come in my head, I said, be still. I'm going to spend time with God. I'll think about you some other time later on. Until literally I'm just so focused on my breath, my heartbeat, and my mind is alert and ready. So that's step number 2. Step number 2 is to still your mind, okay? Mental stillness. Step number 3 is by conversation, which would be called a prayer, my conversation with God. And so I visually picture myself either walking along the beach or sitting down in a meadow, and he's literally there. And the funny thing is that there's no image, there's no face, and I don't even have an image. It's not me in my vision. It's just, I vision myself in just wearing a white tunic, and just, I have no face. It's just my spirit, my soul. And same thing with how I envision this image, this presence of God, this love. It's just someone in white, a light. There's no face, there's no nothing. I have no face, I have no nothing. It's just my spirit. And I just talk. I say, hi, God. You know, this is how my day's gone. Oh my God. I say, oh, you know, it's gone this way. And then little by little, I just like a friend. First, you don't jump in and tell your friend your problems and, you know, your concerns. You kind of just, you know, God has a personality. He has a personality. We were created in his image, and we have personalities and characters, so he does too. So I kind of ease into the conversation, and then I bring in my concerns. And so that's step number 3. Step number 3 is I talk to God. Step number 4 is worship. And worship is basically just giving thanks, being thankful, not asking for anything. So my worship is, for example, I envision and I remember a memory, a moment that gave me great joy. And it could be a recent one, or it could be one from years past. So I could use yesterday or this week. One of the memories that I brought into my mind was when my son learned how to ride his bicycle, because he struggled so much and he was so afraid of falling down. So finally, when he released himself and we released him and he started pedaling, it was such great joy that I felt. And so I remembered that particular moment. So all the emotions and all the feelings that memory brought, I give thanks for it. I give thanks to God because he allowed me that feeling. That feeling is love. And he allows me, and he gives me that feeling of love. And it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. So I give him thanks for that. And I give him thanks for all the other things that bring me joy, because that represents him. That represents his love. That's his hug. Every time we have moments like that, that's his hug and his embrace, that he loves us and that he's there with us. So I give thanks for that, and the prayer. So that's number 4, I believe, or number 5, worship. And number 6, the next one is silence. Silence, so I could hear what he has to tell me. So this is a time where, you know, I'm becoming more aware of his presence. And so I just kind of like step back and just, I'm quiet. Again, bringing back my mind to stillness and hearing what he has to say. And people kind of go, woo, like, oh yeah, God's going to talk to you. And I used to think that way too. But it's not like that. God does not talk to you like, oh, Gabby. No. He talks through you it could be a mental image, like hours after you had your meditation. It could be a day after you're reading something and it's like, oh, and it's like the solution to a problem, or like, oh my gosh, yeah, or a song or a friend. It doesn't come directly from the voice, from the power. It can. I mean, I don't know it. I mean, the way I've been feeling and the trips that I've been going through with my meditation, I have no doubt that maybe there's somebody that's at a different level that can't hear God like Moses and the prophets before. But I'm not there yet, and I don't know if I'll ever be there. But that's how God talks to you. It's about stilling your mind so that you could hear. Sometimes we have so many thoughts going in our head that he wants to talk to us in different ways, but we don't listen because we're so concerned with thoughts. Okay, the other one, I don't even know what number I'm at, but there's 7, okay, is the embrace. And the embrace, I believe this is number 6. The embrace is, I envision myself somewhere like a meadow. And I say meadow because that's the most, I don't know, serene place. I don't know. But it could be a beach. It could be anywhere where you like and you find yourself being peaceful in. And a meadow. And in that meadow, I have everybody that loves me. And everyone that wants good for me. So that's my parents, my sisters, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, my husband, my children. These are people that I know genuinely that love me because they've been there through the thick and thin. These are not people that they're only there for the good and to have a cup of coffee and that's it. These are people that are there when it gets dirty, okay, in your life, and they're there. So this is my family. And so I envision that love, and it's just his presence is love and light. And so I just embrace that, and I'm there with all my family that love me, and that's just a proof that, you know, that he loves me, that he sends these people in my life to love me. And that's called the embrace. That's the embrace. And the last and final step, number 7, is the praise. And the praise for me is, for example, reading a verse in the Bible, or listening to a worship song. And most of the times, this is where my answer comes. This is where God speaks to me. And there's this one verse that I've been meditating on, and it's found in Psalms 84:11. And basically what it says, it confirms, and it's a affirmation that God is our sovereign protector, and that he bestows favor and honor. He withholds no good thing to those that have integrity. Ding! Integrity! Ding! And that was an answer. Because sometimes when you go around your day and you're like, oh, why did this happen to me? Oh my gosh, why did this happen to me? You got to check yourself. Did you have integrity that day? Were you faithful? Were you trustworthy? And most of the time you're like, I'm like, oh, I did, you know, I did this, or I wasn't honest in that particular situation. I did say a fib here and there. So I can't, you know, ask for God to give me favor, or for me to say, oh, you said that you would give me favor and honor, and me not have integrity. So that's what I do for step number 7. So step number 1 is relaxation, physical relaxation. Step number 2 is mental stillness. Step number 3 is conversation, prayer. Step number 4 is stillness of mind. Step number 5 is the embrace. Oh, did I skip one? I think I skipped one. The embrace. Step number 6 is the praise. I did skip one. I don't know which one it was, but 6, 7, figured out. So this is what I bring to you. I want to bring value. I want to bring what brings me happiness and goodness to you. Try it out. It never hurts. So we'll see you. Don't forget to eat more vegetables and fruits. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have 22 subscribers. Come on, let's get it up, 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 up. All right, bye.